This is going to be a brief press conference, but there's a great initiative that we're announcing today. And before I turn it over to Barbara Stevens to talk about the initiative we're announcing today, I want to just speak to the perception that it can be hard to find parking in Annapolis. And we all know, I've lived here my whole life, Annapolis has a reputation and a perception of sometimes being a tough place to park. But downtown Annapolis has a huge inventory of parking spaces between our surface lots, between our on-street spaces, and between the 4 parking garages that the city owns. There's a tremendous inventory. And so the city's focus, working with members of the community, working with Town Park, has been to do a better job of managing the parking that we have and communicating that effectively. Just in the past couple years, we've taken a number of steps. 2 years ago, we launched the Circulator Trolley. Circulator served 60,000 riders in its first year. It just completed its second year of operation and served almost 160,000 riders. That's a 160% increase from year 1 to year 2. The Circulator is an essential tool to make it easier for people to get parking, and the Circulator, combined with market pricing that the City Council adopted, has resulted in an increase of parking garage usage by double digits. So more people are using the spaces in the parking garages, in large part because of the Circulator and market pricing. A couple years ago, the city bid out our parking management contract for the first time in 15 years. And I'm thrilled that Town Park, a local success story, won the bid. Town Park, from the very first week of managing the garages, made huge improvements, everything from power washing the entrances to new paint to redoing the entrances here to automating it. Town Park installed free 24/7 public restrooms in each of our 4 city garages. We've reduced the number of city government employees parking at Hillman, not only by reducing the number of employees who have parking passes, but by looking at the data and looking at when Hillman Garage is at capacity during the work week. For example, during commissioning week, boat shows, parents' weekend, all employees park either at Knighton or Gott's-Court garages to free up spaces at Hillman. In addition, the city has about 24 inspector vehicles and other city-owned vehicles, and every Friday afternoon our city employees park those vehicles outside of Hillman to free up those 24 spaces or so during the weekend. So we're taking a lot of steps to make it easier to park, to reduce the demand from city employees, and to better communicate the parking options to people who want to park here. There's a lot that's coming soon. In just a couple weeks, we'll be rolling out new electronic parking meter heads, so people will no longer have to rummage through their pockets or come into stores like Zachary's and say, can you make change for this $1? They're going to be able to park and pay with credit cards. Those parking garage meter heads are going to have GPS chips in them. They're also going to have RFID chips, so it's going to allow a lot of usability and interoperability so that we can know what's going on at what time in all of the parking spaces. We're also about to embark on a major initiative that we call wayfinding. The wayfinding plan is a plan that's been a year in the making. It involved a lot of public input. It was managed largely by planning and zoning. And the first rollout of the wayfinding system is going to involve big signs at the major arteries coming into town, West Street, Rao Boulevard, and others. And a key feature of those wayfinding signs is they're going to have real-time parking information saying if you turn right at Taylor Avenue, you can park at Park Place Garage, and this is how many spaces are available at Park Place. So it's really going to help people get to the parking, and then the Circulator can pick them up from that point. We're also installing wayfinding HD screens, large interactive screens at the pedestrian exits to all 4 of our garages, and working with our partner Town Park, which is branded locally as Park Annapolis. They're going to be working on a mobile app for your cell phone, so you can just pull up the mobile app and understand exactly how many parking spaces are available at Hillman, at Gott's-Court, etc., just at the press of a button. So at this point, I'd like to introduce Barbara Stevens, the district manager for Town Park, which, as I said, brands their operations locally as Park Annapolis. And she's going to share more about what this Valet initiative is that we're announcing today. Barbara.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mayor Cohen. And on behalf of Jerry South, Town Park CEO, and approximately the 200 associates that work and deliver parking solutions in Annapolis, we're really, really pleased to continue to partner with the city and expand and innovate parking solutions that make it easier for visitors, for Annapolis employees, and certainly for the merchant community that works in Annapolis. So beginning this weekend, and we will continue on all weekends through the boat show and any other holidays and special events for Annapolis, we're really pleased to introduce what's going to be called Valet Assist on the first floor of the Hillman Garage. And actually, guests will be able to arrive right at this same place here at 145 Gorman Street, and we will have valets on the first floor of the Hillman Garage. We're going to be there to direct parkers and visitors. We'll be there to share information about the city, but most importantly to valet park their vehicle if they'd like, thus really increasing the capacity of the first floor of the Hillman Garage by about 40%. So today we have about 90 plus spaces on that first floor of Hillman. So to be able to get another 35 to 40 additional parkers in, certainly with the convenience of valet assisted parking, I think will really, really benefit, again, the city, visitors, and clearly the business community. Most importantly, the fee will not change. So there is not any added cost. Certainly to the guests parking, and again we will have a garage concierge service and then valet parkers to assist those guests and visitors who opt for valet assist beginning on Saturday and Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Thank you, Mayor Cohen.
Thank you, Barbara. Next I'd like to introduce Steve Samaras. Steve is the president, among other hats he wears. He's the president of the Main Streets Annapolis Partnership. As many of you know, MAP is a local nonprofit that works in partnership with the city of Annapolis, and it brings together residents and businesses and other institutions downtown to seek positive solutions to improve the quality of life downtown. Steve.
Thank you, Mayor Cohen. I have no idea what I was thinking about this morning when I put this black jacket on.
You look good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No. As a business owner in downtown Annapolis for the last 30-odd years, and as president of the Main Streets Annapolis Partnership, I want to express our appreciation and talk about the benefit of this measure to the business owners, to the residents, and to our all-important visitors. To have the footprint of this garage increased to meet the needs of the additional traffic on weekends and during special events is just one more initiative that the mayor and the city have created to meet our mobility needs. Again, as I said, having been a business owner in Annapolis for 30 years, I can tell you that for the majority of those 30 years, I've been stating how Annapolis doesn't have a parking problem. It has a perception of a parking problem, but it's such a multifaceted problem, multifaceted concern, that this is the first time that in those 30 years I can honestly say that the city, along with the guidance of Town Park and Park America, is making an effort to meld all of those facets that need to be addressed at the same time so that we can resolve, again, the parking perception, or the perception of a parking problem. So with that, I applaud the mayor, the Department of Transportation, and Jerry South's team at Park Annapolis, and my dear friend Barbara Stevens, for introducing yet another parking option to the residents and visitors of Annapolis. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. And finally, I'd like to introduce a resident of downtown who's not just a resident, but he's the alderman representing Ward 1, Joe Budge.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Parking is a question that has been central to the residents in Ward 1 for the 20 years that I've been in this area. And this is one of the first really positive steps that I've seen to actually add parking in downtown to help our businesses and help our community. We are most appreciative, and we look forward to many more years of this to come.
Great. So that's it. I'm going to conclude in just a second. Just want to make 2 points. A lot of the ideas that the city's been pursuing over the past couple years have come from the community, came from the transportation transition team. They've come from community organizations and private individuals. And we're going to be continuing to implement a lot of these efforts as we go along. We can't do it all at once, but we're making a lot of progress, and more progress is on the way. And the second point I want to make is just to emphasize that Town Park is a real partner to the city of Annapolis. And in conversations with Jerry South, he says, the city is a client of Town Parks, but they're much more than a client because Jerry got his start here, they're headquartered here, and they're really a partner for the city. And I think everyone in Annapolis is fortunate to have a firm with the expertise that Town Park has, not just located in the city, but working with us. So Barbara, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much.
All right. Joe and Steve, thank you both. Thank you all.